It's the end of the Skywalker saga of the Star Wars franchise, and man, what a ride this has been. From a flawed but game-changing trilogy to a prequel trilogy that was, for at least 2/3 of the way, extremely boring and cringy, and now we have the sequel trilogy. As you probably guessed, I've been all over the place with this saga. Didn't care for Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones at all. I thought Revenge of the Sith was decent, really liked A New Hope, really liked The Empire Strikes Back, and thought Return of the Jedi didn't age well. And I personally think The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were the best of the franchise. I never got the hate for either of them, especially The Last Jedi. I thought it told a bold story that answered questions set up by The Force Awakens in an unexpected but brilliant way. Granted, people were very split on the film. Well, split at best. The fanbase was really tearing itself apart. Not from people who simply just didn't like these movies, but from people who took their hatred of the film personally. Angry fanboys claiming critics were paid off to give Disney movies positive reviews even though logic proves that wrong, calling the film's propaganda for toxic feminism, and even going as far as to attack cast and crew members for even being involved with the film, with some people like Kelly Marie Tran going off of social media because of said bullying. So this was absolutely not an easy film to make. J.J. Abrams had to think of a way to win the fanbase back. But I've always said that regardless of what the angry fanboys say, don't let them get to your head. Don't cave into their demands, use what you got, and press onward. Well, of all studios, I never once expected Disney to cave in. This was an unnecessary course correct if I ever saw one. It's not the Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, but the thing that frustrates me about this film is how instead of telling a great story with great character development, it relies on cheap fan service that honestly felt like fan fiction. Let's talk about Palpatine, which is really not a spoiler as he's been shown on the posters, he's heard in the trailers, and even Ian McDiarmid's name is on the poster. So it's not a spoiler in the slightest. However, the reasoning for him being in this movie is so incredibly stupid and needless, and I really can't give away why because explaining it would be a spoiler. It comes out of nowhere and in a way betrays knowledge that we already had established. The film tries to talk its way out of it like, no, we didn't really break what we previously said, but no, it really does feel like it was made up on the spot. And again, I can't really express why and how, but you have to see it to see what I mean. The Rise of Skywalker doesn't even really feel like a J.J. Abrams film. For some reason, it's way more visually dark, drab, and rugged feeling. I like dark imagery, but there's something about the colors and cinematography of The Force Awakens that isn't apparent here. And that's especially weird because this has the exact same cinematographer as The Force Awakens. Why does it look like this? I'm not as mad at the film itself as much as I am at Disney for caving into angry fanboy demands. This is exactly what I was worried about when Sonic the Hedgehog was going to be redesigned. Again, yeah, we got a better design for Sonic the Hedgehog, but I said that this would create a bad precedent for studios to cave into audience demand, even if it means sacrificing artistic integrity. And that's the great thing about art, is how every artist is able to express themselves. You never know what you're going to get, and I like that. And when Sonic got redesigned, I was scared that more studios were going to start backtracking on their visions, even as bad as they were, to just give in to audience demands and just not really be art anymore, and at this point it's just clockwork. And this really worries me now because it's Disney. Disney is doing this. Disney showed no spine with this film, and it doesn't even feel like a story created with the cooperation of the writers, director, and studio, as much as it feels like fanfiction with unnatural development. And when I mean fanfiction, just wait until the end of this movie and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, not the very end of this movie, but something happens around the last third of this movie that made me go, really? This is like actual fanfiction shit. There's definitely some good stuff in here, and the ending itself is nice. And I'm not even saying this is a terrible film. There are movies this year that were way, way worse than this. This isn't going to make my worst movies of the year list. But as a whole, I'm ashamed at Disney for not sticking to their vision, regardless of the backlash The Last Jedi initially got. This just feels like a complete unnecessary course correct that really, I honestly don't know what they were trying to achieve here. I mean, I guess if you love the prequels and you don't like The Last Jedi, then you're absolutely the audience for this movie. This movie is literally catered and gift wrapped for you. As for me, I'll keep watching and loving The Force Awakens and Last Jedi for as long as I live.